welcome back to the Perspective with KP podcast. I'm KP, your host, and today we are talking about how to get yourself out of a rut when you are feeling stuck and you need to get motivated again to get back into your routine. You had goals that you set, you had habits that you built, you fell out of it, and now you're stuck in this place where you just can't get back into it. And the hardest part is starting again. Like, seriously, the hard part isn't doing the things that you know will help you because once you're in the groove, it's like, "Ugh, why wasn't I doing this all along?" The hard part is actually starting. So that's what we're talking about today. All validation, all the love. This isn't something that is like impossible for you to get back into. It's so easy. It's within your grasp. You've done it before. You can do it again. And it's all in your mind. We're also going to be talking about why we do any of these things in the first place. Like when you really start overthinking it, it's like, why am I listening to mindset podcasts? Why am I setting all these goals? Why am I trying to build these perfect habits? Kind of like that hopeless energy starts to kick in. It's like, why do anything? So, we're going to break that down too, so that you can leave this episode feeling not only completely validated and heard and understood, but motivated and excited to get back into the groove for the best version of yourself. And just remembering why we do these things, like in a real, genuine way. So, let's get right into this podcast. No dilly dallying. We're getting right into it today. Let's hop right in. I felt like this episode today was really fitting because I have not been consistent with the podcast. I have just been focused on other things. And the podcast is something that is like so important to me. And I love talking with you guys. I love talking in general. Like, if there's one thing I can do, it's yap. I can just talk and talk and talk. So it's like starting the podcast was so fitting. And then to fall off of it is so annoying because I know it's so good for me. It's so good for you. Making an impact is like the most important thing to me, honestly, like getting to help other people and spread the love and spread the good energy and share like my helpful tips and advice and guidance and mindset is so important to my entire like ikigai. Like we talk about the ikigai a lot of like what you need, what you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and fitting all those things together. And the podcast matches all of those things of me loving to talk, being good at it, spreading the love, and giving the world something that we'll do a whole episode on the ikigai again. I feel like we need a refresher on it. So make sure you just subscribe to the podcast and stay updated on future updates because that is one of my favorite things to talk about. But basically, it is a Japanese concept for your purpose in life. And the podcast is just such a fitting role for me in that and my purpose in life. So it's so annoying for me to be like, why am I not sticking to it? And the reason I mention this is because I know when we're talking about getting back into your habits, getting back into your goals, rebuilding the routine, the big thing in your head is like this frustration with yourself because you know, whatever it is, if it's creating content or getting back on like your online business or your side hustle or losing weight or eating right or the morning routine or skipping the coffee or whatever it is the goal is that you have fallen out of the habit with, it always comes back to this like self frustration and like taking it out on yourself and just getting so like um what's the word, like you're hitting a wall. You know, you're hitting a wall. This is me clapping my hands together. If you're not watching on the YouTube channel, if you want to see the visuals of me hanging out in my filming office area with my um what are these called? My smoko stuffy. I'm not a fan of like squishmallows, and I'm also not a fan of the jelly cats. Or I don't know, maybe I am. I've never had a jelly cat before, but these smoko pop stuffed animals are like my children. This one's name is Mike. He's a caterpillar. Okay, anyway. If you want to watch on the YouTube, go over to the YouTube channel. It's linked in the description. But if you're just listening, that feeling of hitting a wall when you're just angry at yourself. So the first step we have to get to here is acknowledging the frustration, but not taking it out on yourself. Because, like, fighting the funk only makes it worse. Like, saying, I have to get out of this, I have to eat better, I have to lose weight, and getting angry and frustrated, it's only making the situation worse because you're creating so much tension around this habit or goal or routine. And when we come back to the why do we set these goals? Why do we build these habits? The reason isn't for the tangible win of making more money or being skinnier or having clearer skin, whatever the goal is for you. It's not about those things. That's only step one. We need to take it a few layers deeper. So if let's just use a random example here of eating right, because I think that's a really common one. You're frustrated that you're not eating right. You're angry at yourself for it. You're creating all this tension every time you DoorDash or every time you eat an unhealthy meal. You're like, oh, I need to eat right. I need to do better. And then instantly you're thinking, because I need to lose weight. And now you're angry and you're frustrated at yourself in the mirror. But we need to take it a step deeper, because that frustration with I need to lose weight, first of all, you don't. You're beautiful, but maybe it's health related or whatever. Or for me, like with Crohn's management, like it's I need to eat better because it's for my own good, you know? So let's take it a step deeper. Why? Why? We have to keep asking ourselves why until we get to a word or phrase that makes us feel peace, makes us feel excitement, makes us feel drive. For me, the answer is my mental health, my sanity, my peace of mind. Because, yeah, sure, it's that tangible thing of I need to lose weight, but take it deeper. Why do you feel that way? Because it will make me happier, because it will make me feel more at peace, because it will make me feel sane, because I'll feel more confident, because I'll be able to do more things. I'll be able, whatever, you know? Take it deeper to a feeling, to a root feeling, not just these tangible things. And when it's making more money, you're frustrated that you haven't been consistently posting on TikTok or you haven't been consistently making your content. Why? Because I want to make money. Okay, but why? Because it will allow you to travel more. Okay, why do you want to do that? Because it will bring me peace of mind. It will elevate my confidence. It will elevate my enjoyment of life, right? So we have to get to that deeper reason. So that's my first step for you, validation, because it happens to all of us. Every single person gets stuck in a rut. Every single person loses their motivation. Every single person falls off of the routine. I do it. Everyone else in the world does it. There is no perfect person out there. And if there is someone who's completely perfect and has never once in their lives missed a day, they are not growing the way you are, because the growth comes from those setbacks. If you are perfect every single day you ate the perfect same meal, you never drink, you only have water, you never have a snack, you never wake up after 6 a.m., you always fall asleep perfectly, you never touch your phone at night, you are just flawless. Are you growing? Are you learning? No. We learn from these setbacks. Remember the balance we always talk about. We need the negatives in order to experience the positives. If you never had a bad day, you wouldn't even be able to understand what a good day feels like, because we need that polarity. The balance is what creates the beautiful life we live. The beauty of like being a human and having all these emotions is the balance, right? So we need the quote bad days, which it's not a bad day. We need the balance, okay? We need those less than perfect days in order to appreciate and be proud of ourselves and see the growth in those quote perfect days. You know what I mean? So find the balance, accept the balance, be in the balance. Remember that consistency is showing up every day. So if we're looking at like a line of glasses, I'm going to put an image on here if you're watching on YouTube. A lot of people think that consistency means every single cup in a row is completely full to the top. Every cup of water is full to the brim. But that's not what consistency is. Consistency is some water in every cup. Sometimes it's a little tiny bit, barely an inch full, but it's there. Sometimes it's all the way full. Sometimes it's halfway. But the consistency is that there is water in the cup. So my point in mentioning this example here is consistency does not mean every single day is perfectly the same. Every single day you are flawless in your routine. It means that every day you are showing up for the goal in some capacity, even if that capacity is looking at yourself, looking at the weekend you had, looking at how you've been sick or you've been on your period or you're going through a lot right now and saying, you know what? I recognize this goal. I recognize that this habit is important, but what's more important for me today is resting. So that's what I'm going to do. And I promise myself that tomorrow I'll jump back in. That counts. That counts as consistency. That counts as a good day. That counts as moving the needle forward, because that rest and recharge is essential for your mental health and for the best version of you, because we want to create a positive experience with the habits, right? So this is why, to tie back, my ADHD can take me in 7,000 different directions, but we're going to tie it back. We always circle back. The reason we don't want to have resistance and frustration towards yourself with these goals is because we want to have a happy relationship with the goal. We want to have a peaceful relationship with the goal. If the losing weight is something that's causing anger and frustration, and when you think about losing weight, you think frustration, then what is the point of creating this habit? The point is supposed to be to bring you peace, right? That's what we said when we broke it down and asked why. We got to a place of, I will feel happier. I will feel more confident. So when we think about the goal, we want to think of those words. Losing weight equals confidence. Losing weight equals happiness. Creating content equals peace of mind, because we tie it back to make more money so I can travel, so I can have peace of mind. You know, we have to bring it back to that core, happy, positive emotion. So, if you are feeling that frustration and fighting the funk every time you're not being consistent, you are creating a negative connotation with that habit. And instead, we want to make sure we have positive energy around that habit for the sustainability of it. So, this is why, like, when we talk about things like 75 hard, I get a little bit against it and I'm a little bit like, not sure how I feel about that plan because number one, 75 days of consistency. Okay, then what happens on day 76? And number two, it's all about like the end goal instead of being in the present moment. So when we're setting these goals of working out every day and building our habits and drinking enough water, it's not just for the right now, it's for always, right? Like the reason we do these things is for always, for the future, for our best selves all through the future, through all the years, so that we can protect ourselves as we grow older and so we can build a better future for ourselves and create sustainability. So we don't want it to be this tense feeling of if I can just get through this week of doing these workouts, then I'll lose the weight. No, we want to be happy and excited in the moment. I work out because it feels good. I work out because it makes my body feel good. I enjoy the sweat. It's something that brings me serotonin. It's something that makes me feel proud of myself. It's something that in the moment is building my confidence and making me a better person each day. And that's why I do it. So there's no tension there. There's no frustration there. It's a positive experience. And that's the energy we want to bring to the table each time we do it. And we're thinking about not only getting through this week, not only getting through these 75 days, but building something that's going to be strong for a lifetime. Okay, so now we're in a place where we've accepted where we are. We understand that this funk is happening for a reason, whether that's because you were sick, because you're on your period, because something. So let's talk about it. What is the reason why you're feeling this? Grab your journal and write it out. Why am I feeling resistance towards this? For me, with my podcast, if I'm going to give you my example, it's just overwhelm. Like, I have too much going on. I have so many other things I'm focused on. I'm doing volunteer work. I teach dance at night. I've been really focused on getting my yoga certification. I've been working with a new marketing agency. I've been taking on a lot of new projects. So I just have a lot going on. And it's like partially it slipped my mind. Like I just kind of forgot to prioritize it and I didn't really organize my days and my schedule to fit it in. And I've just been kind of overwhelmed with other things. So that's what I would write about in my journal. And that end of the journal session would probably get me to a place of clarity of saying, yeah, I know that this is one of my values. This is something I care about. And it's important that I make the change and make the switch to prioritize it more. That's where I would end up. Maybe with something a little bit more deep, like a fitness goal. Maybe I don't feel confident going to the gym, or maybe going to the gym doesn't excite me. It doesn't feel good. This is something I really did go through. I had the goal of going to the gym every day, and I was doing it for a while. But then after, I was kind of like dropping off of it. And then I went to my journal. I said, okay, why am I not hitting this goal? Why am I not building this habit anymore? Why did I drop it? And I got to a place where I was like, I don't like going to the gym. Like everyone else goes to the gym. I see these fitness girls living it up in the gym, lifting weights and doing these amazing routines. And I have them all saved in my TikTok folders of like examples of what to do. And I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy going to the gym. I feel awkward. I feel intimidated. It's just not fun. And that's just how I felt. And then at the end, I said, okay, this is good. We've gotten to a place where I understand why this habit isn't working. The acceptance of this is not a habit for me was really important because I would have just kept going and going and going with it for the sake of I don't know what, doing it because everyone else does. And so then I finally realized, okay, I don't like going to the gym. Let's try something else. And so I switched my fitness routine to an outdoor walk every morning and then going to take a yoga class using ClassPass. I'll put my ClassPass in the description. I freaking love ClassPass. ClassPass is like the best thing ever for people like me who need constant change, who like to explore new things and try new things. And it's honestly just cheap. Like that's what I have to tell you. Like the difference between having a membership at a yoga studio versus having ClassPass is just like it's an insane difference, okay? So anyway, that's what I changed. And now I I think if I miss a workout or I miss a walk, I feel a little bit crazy because I love it so much and it's such a core part of my routine. So recognizing, hey, this habit isn't for me was really important. So maybe that's what it is for you. Or maybe it's just burnout. So maybe you're journaling, you're like, why haven't I been doing this morning routine? I am burnt out. I'm exhausted. I am doing this routine because I'm comparing myself to other people instead of doing what I really want to do. I am exhausted from work and thinking about way too many other things and just trying to get through the day. And this morning routine doesn't fit when I'm in that state of mind. So that's where a change has to happen too. Maybe a change needs to happen at work. Maybe there needs to be some better balance. Or maybe that morning routine literally isn't for you and you can just try something completely different. You maybe don't need to do a full gua sha moment right now. Maybe we need to build smaller steps, smaller micro goals instead of a full 30-minute morning routine that you'd rather just sleep in for. You know what I mean? So, whatever the reason is, journal it out, get to a place where you have some clarity because avoidance is probably the worst thing you can do right now. Like, that's what you want to do because you don't want to face it. You don't want to think about it. You just want to keep going through the motions. But the best thing you can do right now is face it, face the music, write it out, figure out why it's not working out. If you still can't figure it out, keep journaling about it, give it a rest, let your mind marinate with it until you get to a place where you can really understand why don't I want to do this? Get yourself a reason so that you can face it and understand it and kind of like become friends with your shadow there. Once you're there, we are going to restart this goal with self compassion, with self love, and not guilt. I don't want you going into it with a mindset of, yeah, I really need to do this. I've been failing recently. I've been on a really bad path recently. I've been sucking at this. I need to get back into my habits. That is not a good mindset to start our new journey with. We want to start with, I deserve this. I feel for myself. I understand the struggles I've been going through. I have compassion for myself and love for myself, and I want the best for myself. And I'm excited to start this new habit to help me get to a better place. You see that difference? So that's the way we need to go into it with this new habit that we're going to rebuild. So now that we're here, I want you to start slow. Like I was saying before, maybe the full 30-minute morning routine, or maybe going to the gym every single day is not what you need right now. Because again, the whole point of this is to feel better, to feel good, to build sustainable habits. So we need to pick something that really works sustainably and makes you feel confident because I always talk about the micro goals. If you are setting a micro goal each day of maybe just going for a 20-minute walk at some point during the day, whether that's in the morning or at lunch or before bed, micro goal, at some point you go for a 20-minute walk, you build that every day, you're able to stick to it because it's a micro goal and not something massive and really hard to reach. You are building your confidence, you are building your routine, you are building your sustainability, you are building a solid building block. You are laying the building blocks so that maybe in 2 weeks you're saying, yeah, I've done this every day and it's light work. I'm ready to add more to it. So maybe you make it a 30-minute walk, or maybe you take that walk to the gym and then add on a little bit of cardio after. You know what I mean? So start micro, be patient with yourself, because again, this is not something that we're doing for the next 2 weeks or for the next month or the next 75 days. We are building a structure that's going to last you a lifetime. So starting slow will allow you to build those building blocks and then get you to a place where you feel successful and like you've quote made it. But really, we never want to feel like we've quote made it because we are constantly growing, right? Like I said in the beginning, if you are just perfectly doing all your habits every single day with no fails and no missteps and no setbacks, no setbacks, you're boring. You're not growing. Nothing good is coming of that. And the reason we do these things is to grow and keep becoming better and keep increasing our happiness and potential and confidence and all the things, right? So set yourself up in a way that allows you to grow. Give yourself space to grow. Something else I want to give you a little bit of a tip for here is to make your own life easier. Sometimes we make our lives like so much harder than they have to be. Like simple things like laying out your workout clothes for yourself the night before so that it's there and it's ready for you and you don't have to think about it. It's just done and it's right in front of you. There's no space to debate. You know, remove the space to debate, like deleting your DoorDash. Just delete it. You don't have it. There's no option of, oh, should I cook at home or should I DoorDash? We don't have DoorDash. We don't do it. It's not a thing. We just cook. It's what we do. It's part of the routine. Booking your classes ahead of time. For me, that's something I have to do on my class pass. I book my yoga classes for the week. It's not like every day I decide, should I go today? What time should I go? Nope, it's just booked. It's there. It's on the calendar. I'm not paying the late fee or the missed class fee, so I'm just gonna go. So, yeah, the goal here is just to make the right choice the easy choice because so often the right choice is the hard choice. So, we just have to create an environment and create circumstances where the right thing to do is so easy. It just becomes natural. Because then once you do it enough times, you build that habit, it will be natural because that's what you've taught your body to just organically, naturally do. Next thing I need to tell you about your funk is if the habits you're getting back into or trying to build are making you miserable, we need to change them or at least add in something that boosts your energy and brings you happiness. I get it, there are hard things in the world that we have to do. I don't want to be the sunshine rainbow unicorns that's telling you if you don't enjoy it, just don't do it. I mean, I probably have said that sentence quite a few times, but sometimes there are things we really do have to do that are hard at first, but then they will get much easier, like putting yourself in a new environment. I was definitely scared and a little bit anxious the first time I went to a yoga class, especially hot yoga at a new studio. I was nervous, but I had to put myself out there and do it. And now it's just something I love to do. Maybe like drinking water is hard for you. Maybe you don't like the taste of water, but you know you have to do it. So sometimes we do have to do the hard things. But if you feel like every single habit you have is like impossible and making you miserable, let's revisit the drawing board a little bit, like I said earlier, and make those changes. But we have to make sure that there are habits in the circuit that are making you feel happy, that you are excited to do. So at least add one or two there. Like maybe you're working on a really hard goal right now. Like maybe you hate editing, but it does have to happen until you're able to outsource your editing, right? That's a good example. So as you're editing, maybe you listen to a really good podcast, or maybe after you finish editing, you give yourself a little treat, like, I don't know, a snack or like a trip somewhere you really like to go. Like for me, it would be a coffee, definitely, or like I get to go buy myself a new smoko if I finish my editing all on a Wednesday night because that's my editing day and I often procrastinated and avoided and push it off to the end of the week. So give yourself those feel good habits that are going to boost your energy. Getting sunlight is a really good one that's important to start your day. I believe so wholeheartedly. It's true. If you get outside and get some sunlight on your skin, within the first 15 minutes of waking up, you will have a better day and you will feel better. You'll have better energy. Get a full workout class in during your week. Do 5-minute intervals every time you hit a break or you go to the bathroom during your work. I mean, this is easier if you work at home. If you're in an office, it might be a little bit awkward. But hey, do whatever you want. Don't let anyone judge you and don't hold yourself back because of what other people think. But I like the interval approach of every time I get up to go for a bathroom break, I'm going to do 5 squats, or I'm going to do a plank, or I'm just going to do a little sun salutation, which is, you can look it up, or I have sun salutations on my YouTube channel, or a child's pose. Do a little bit of movement throughout your day. When you wake up, do a little stretch before bed, do a little stretch, spread it out throughout your day, little intervals. You are getting it in still in smaller ways. If you feel like journaling is overwhelming and doing a full page is a lot and you're kind of struggling, maybe do 1 to 3 prompts a day. Something I'm grateful for, something I'm reflecting on from yesterday, one sentence to get me in a good mood today. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be crazy, but get those little bare minimum actions in there that are going to bring you that energy and fill those gaps during the hard habits you're trying to build. Now, the last thing I want to say to you, which is extremely important, if you take one thing from all of this, take this. Your funk, your setback, your low moment on the roller coaster is temporary. You will come back. It can feel very permanent, but it's not permanent. It's probably going to happen again. But knowing all of these tools and knowing that you're in control, you're in the driver's seat, right? We can't control outside factors. We can't control a lot of things in this world, but what can we control? I say it probably every single episode. Your perspective is what you can control and your next move. So you can't control what other people are saying to you, other outside factors, your job, whatever. But you can control your perspective on the situation, put on the rose colored glasses, and you can control what you're going to do next. So don't waste time complaining about the past or stressing about the future. Just stay in the present moment, take the next best step, and keep the rose colored glasses on. This is not a permanent situation. You are not going to be here forever. Sometimes it's important to just embrace the break, embrace the low, let yourself feel it, let yourself be there, because next week, when your cycle is back on track, or when you're feeling better, or when you have that click aha moment of, I'm getting back into this, I feel good, I feel ready, I found the motivation, I found the clarity I needed, then you'll be able to reflect on this low and be so proud of yourself. So sometimes you need to just feel it out and not get so high pressure on yourself and so frustrated and keep hitting that wall. And also, I need you to hear this last sentence here. You are already on your way back up just by clicking play on this episode. Like, if you've listened to this entire episode and now you're here, you are already on your way back up because you have just gotten all of these tips to get yourself back in the groove. You're still listening, which means you didn't give up on yourself halfway through and say, oh, never mind, I'm just going to keep settling. You are ready. You are there. You are on your way back up. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself forgiveness and compassion. Take it one step at a time. And remember that the goals you are building and the habits that you are building are for a better long term future. So don't rush the process. Just be in the moment and allow yourself to grow at a steady pace because that will bring you the best results moving forward. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope this was helpful for you. I pinky promise, we will be back in the groove of the podcast. Thank you for your patience with me. If you are still here and still a loyal listener, I love you. I am so grateful for you. Things to look out for the future. Of course, more vlogs will always be happening on the YouTube channel. I'll be doing a lot more fun vlogs because you guys told me you enjoy the ones where I have more of an intention behind it. Like, comparing the one I did where I said, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. every day with the sunrise and see if it helps my mental health. You guys like that style more than just follow me for a week in the life. So we'll be doing more of those fun challenges. I have some really fun ideas coming up that I'm really excited to try out and give you some raw reactions of how it went. So keep an eye out for that. And just keep an eye out for more podcast episodes. We're bringing on some fun guests moving forward. We have lots of fun people coming on. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope this episode helped shift your perspective, and I hope you have a lovely, aligned rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.